we talked about it last time also, how the stock is just down massively. Uh, and this was actually something that encouraged me to look into strategy. If we would have been riding on all-time highs, I probably would have not been as motivated because I just catch knives all my life. I've never catch a falling knife, but like I got interested the first time in Bitcoin when it crashed down from I don't even know what the high point was, but it crashed down to like 3K in 2020. And then I'm like, "Oh, okay. If it's cheap, I wanna look into it." Like, I'm, like, maybe weirdly wired where I'm like, if something falls drastically, I'm like, maybe there's um, misprice happening, and I might catch some yield on that. So I do like catching some knives. And so because I mentioned that specifically because there might be some people out there that think the similar way as me, and I know most people come in when the price goes up and go go out when the price goes down, unfortunately. Otherwise, the price wouldn't go down and, like, wouldn't go up and, like, all of those things, but, I'm one of the persons, and I think you probably, Chase, also, the same way, right? Where I see a stock that I like, and I see a stock that I'm like, the fundamentals look really, really solid, and it's down 57% over the last 6 months. So what you potentially have is just like a more than 2x just to get back to the old all-time high. It's just like a massive opportunity. But how do you, and this is a big question, obviously, like everyone do their own financial like uh, education things, do your own research. But how do you model the Bitcoin price? Not the Bitcoin price. How do you model the MSTR price? How do you say like where strategy might go and what you might expect it to return? Because obviously, people like with Bitcoin, a lot of people just also buy it because they like the sovereignty aspect of it and all of those things. But with strategy, you buy that for the financial gain. Like there's no other real reason outside of the financial gain. Maybe you want to just like support them, but the financial gain is probably 99.9% of the reasons why people buy it. So what is kind of your like modeling of strategy?
So one thing that I'll call out first here is, yeah, stock is down over 50%, but I think they have something like 400,000 more Bitcoin on the balance sheet than they did at their previous all-time high. So that should be a little bit of a signal to folks that perhaps we are mispriced here. Um, and one other thing that I didn't mention earlier, and it's related to this drawback, is if you imagine STRC, let's say that they could theoretically jump the dividend more than just the 0.25% per month, which is the limit that they can move the dividend yield per month. Let's just say that the dividend was at 11% and they came out and said, hey, we are now going to offer this yield at 12%. So we're adding a whole 1% yield. If you're issuing STRC and you're willing to take on a little bit higher credit hurdle risk to issue shares at the 70K Bitcoin price because you think we're going to be back up to 120K within the next 5 years, it makes a ton of sense right now to be super aggressive with the credit yield, with the yield to those STRC investors because of the entry price. What's really important is if you're having to outperform that yield, you want to be issuing credit at these levels as much as possible. And that's what we see strategy doing. That's why what looks like a time where you would think that maybe an outsider would think that they'd be slowing down or backing off or they wouldn't be as aggressive. They're as aggressive as possible because they have greater confidence that they're going to outperform the credit hurdle rate at these prices. So me seeing strategy lowering their average Bitcoin acquisition price and aggressively issuing STRC digital credit at these prices where I feel like it's a temporary low, we're going to bounce back. I love that. To me, it's the perfect strategy. And when I think about how to value strategy total market cap, I guess bullish math here. I think that, and I don't need to put a time on it because I'm a long-term shareholder. You switch the L and the D. I'm a shareholder. Uh, I think that strategy is going to end up with, maybe not end up, but I think it's very feasible that strategy holds 2 million Bitcoin in the near future. And I see a near future, call that whatever you want, 5, 10, 15 years of a $10 million per Bitcoin price. So if the company has $2 million of Bitcoin, or sorry, 2 million Bitcoin at a $10 million price, you're looking at a $2 trillion company. Now, you might need to subtract some of the liability there, but just ballpark math, at 2 million Bitcoin held at a $10 million price, if there's no premium, like let's say that the premium to net asset value wipes out the liability that they have in on the balance sheet, we end up with roughly a $2 trillion market cap. What are we trading at today? Something like under a $50 billion market cap, right?
Here we see it at 44 billion.
Yeah. So, run the multiple yourself. I feel like this is inevitable as Bitcoin in many ways.
It's like did I do the math correct? Is it like a 45x from here, or is there
Sounds about right.
three with
Yeah. 2 trillion to
45x?
50.
Yeah, like it's 2 trillion into 50 should be, so like 2000 into 50 should be 40. But yeah, I might be with the math off, but like it's a massive. Was it 400? I might be wrong with the math. Like
Let's see. Yeah. We'll let the audience do the math, but I see 45 billion turning into 2 trillion over the next decade.
that's amazing. Like that's a huge gain in like everything. And so like that's, I think, and this is also an interesting part where um there might be some people sitting out like, oh, but I like Bitcoin because of the sovereignty rights. I like Bitcoin because of I came here for the revolution. I came here for the number go up, and it didn't, and I stayed here for the revolution, and it didn't stay for the the number go up technology and strategy. It seems like, oh, like that's all it is. Um, Maybe we can take the last few like minutes and talk about what does strategy actually mean for Bitcoin? And let's address also, because there are a couple of people. I talked yesterday on a live stream about strategy and stretch, and we were all like really bullish on it. And then there were comments coming in and saying, "Oh, it's bad for Bitcoin. Like, don't buy the scam securities of Sailor." Like those comments, like are like obviously out there, especially when the price is down 60%. But like, how do you respond to people that say strategy is bad for Bitcoin, or like this is not where Bitcoin should end up being? Like all of those kind of like comments.
I mean, like maybe to start with a bit of an analogy, was just because they refer to this as the iPhone moment, was the iPhone bad for the internet? I mean, the internet is the protocol. The iPhone was the consumer friendly technology or vehicle that opened up the internet to the masses. So, was the iPhone bad for the internet because people weren't going directly to the internet in some more arbitrary, tech native way? So I guess the way I see it is, yes, everybody should have cold storage Bitcoin, but at a certain point, you don't want all of your wealth at your fingertips. Um, I kind of have a saying that I say, with internal conversations or friends and family. But if all your wealth is at your fingertips, then you risk somebody taking off your fingertips to get your Bitcoin.
The first thing that every Bitcoiner does, and the most important activity that every Bitcoiner keeps on doing, is buying Bitcoin. And I personally use Relay to buy and sometimes also spend or sell my Bitcoin. And there are two main reasons why I do so. The first one is it's Bitcoin only. They do not do any shit coins. They do not do any cryptos, any stocks, or anything else. This is a tool, an app that is fully focused only and solely on Bitcoin. The second one is self-custody. They give you the keys to your Bitcoin the moment you buy them. You never give them the control over your Bitcoin, and you don't have to trust them because you can verify that you and only you have the keys to your Bitcoin. There's no third-party risk. There's no freezing of your assets. There's no rug pulling. There's nothing of that. Download Relay, the app, on your phone, or go to relay.app on your browser and use code Robin to save fees and get cheaper Bitcoin. I want to tell you about something very special to me. It's called micro-seed. If you hold your Bitcoin in self-custody, and you should, you know how critical it is to secure your seed phrase. You should not have them on paper. You should not have them on anything else than titanium. With micro-seed, you can engrave your 12 or 24 word seed phrase, the entire seed phrase, onto a 1-inch small washer. Yes, just one washer. All 24 words on that one washer. You can hide that thing everywhere. And even better, you don't need to buy a new kit every time you have to get a new wallet. You can make unlimited backups because microseed is not selling the washer. Microseed is selling the device that stamps the washer. So you get the full kit with the device, with the washers, with the hammer, with everything you need to get started today, and you can make with that unlimited amount of backups. Go now to microseed.io.